After my rebirth, the first thing I did was delete my TikTok account with over 1 million followers. Almost instantly, the internet exploded with speculation, wondering if my account had been hacked. Then Leslie Hall, another influencer in the same niche, messaged me directly. "Why would you just quit out of nowhere? Are you out of your mind?" Even so, I shut everything off and went on a solo trip to see the beauty of the world. In my last life, Leslie and I had posted the exact same type of video. People accused me of copying her and called me a knockoff clone doomed to fade away. I was bombarded with negativity publicly, privately, and even face-to-face. To prove my innocence, I shared screenshots of my scripts, behind-the-scenes notes, and timestamps. But people still said it was fake and claimed I staged everything. The constant pressure and harassment eventually broke me, and I fell into a very dark place. And then suddenly, I woke up. To my shock, I was back on the very day Leslie and I had first posted those identical videos. My finger was literally hovering over the post button. 1 second later, and I would have repeated the same fate. My body jolted like I'd been dragged up from deep water, and I yanked my hand away at the last moment, gasping for breath. Looking around the familiar room, the camera, the lights, the script, I realized I had been reborn at the moment I first tried to pivot my content. After calming down, I saved the video to my drafts and immediately searched for Leslie's social media. Her newest post popped up right away, and it was nothing like her usual style. Her earlier videos were clunky and barely scraped together a few hundred likes. But this one had tens of thousands in just 30 minutes. The comments were full of praise. The dark background, the bold styling, the music, the script, every single detail matched the video I had just saved. If I hadn't known I created that idea myself after watching a British drama and staying up countless nights writing, I might have believed I copied her. She posted first, climbed to fame overnight, and in my past life, that video destroyed me. But this time, I was determined to find the truth. Digging through her social media with a side account, I noticed something in the background of one of her live photos. A familiar hand wearing a very specific ring. The exact ring I had custom-made for my boyfriend, Gavin Norman, for our 1-year anniversary. That was when it hit me. At some point behind my back, Gavin had gotten involved with Leslie. No wonder he had walked away from me so easily when everything fell apart. And thinking back to all the times I had told him about my ideas, it wasn't hard to guess what had happened. I didn't wait for excuses. I sent him the photo, told him it was over, and blocked him. Then I changed every password and lock I owned. With that chapter closed, I focused on what mattered, making something new. So I reinvented my style again, poured myself into my work, filmed everything privately, and finished a video I was truly proud of. To test the waters, I even left a friendly comment on Leslie's page. She replied that she wouldn't be posting anything new for a while. I finally relaxed. Until minutes later, a notification appeared. Leslie had just posted a new video, and it was identical to mine. Scene for scene, beat for beat, even down to the second. And she added a message saying she'd been warned someone might steal her idea. So she posted early to protect herself. The internet didn't need much else to go on. Before long, people decided I was the thief. Rumors spread. Even Gavin publicly implied I was dishonest. Leslie posted about standing against plagiarism. And suddenly I was painted as the villain. I wanted to defend myself, but how could I prove something that made no sense? Who would believe that somehow our ideas matched perfectly when I had never shared mine with anyone? Soon, people even found my alternate account and twisted my comment to mean I was scouting her content to copy it. The weight of it all became unbearable. So I made a choice. I deleted my account with over 1 million followers and posted one final message. I can't prove that I didn't copy anyone. There are things I simply can't explain. I've deactivated my channel and will be stepping away from this platform. All I want to say is this. I, Stephanie Mills, have never stolen anyone's work. Then I turned off the app, packed my bags, and allowed myself to disappear for a while. After I stopped posting, Leslie finally messaged me. Not directly, of course. She posted a long, shaky selfie video, eyes red like she'd been crying, soft background music playing. "Hey guys," she sniffled. "I just heard that a certain creator deleted her account. I feel really guilty. She's so talented. If my success pushed her off the internet, I'll never forgive myself. If you're watching this, I forgive you. Please come back. We can make things right." Her fans flooded the comments. Leslie is literally an angel. Even after being copied, she still blames herself. Meanwhile, that other girl rage quit and ran away. I didn't reply. I didn't even have the app anymore. While they were busy praising her halo, I was sitting on a little tour boat in a lakeside town hours away, watching waves slap gently against the hull, the sun turning the water gold. For a while, I just let myself exist. No câmeras, no eliner, no ligeting setup. Just air, sky, and the sound of water. When the ride ended, I paid the boatman, stepped off the dock and froze. A tall guy in a faded baseball cap jogged toward me, squinting like he couldn't believe what he was seeing. "Stephanie Mills? Is that actually you?" It took me a second to recognize him without braces and a bowl cut. Then it clicked. "Logan." I laughed. "Oh my God, Logan Reed. My shadow from age 8 to 15. We grew up in the same tiny town in the Midwest, spent summers catching fireflies and playing video games on his grandmother's old TV. Then we got older, went to different schools, different cities, and life does what life does. We drifted. Now he sat across from me in a tiny cafe by the lake, pouring hot coffee into my mug like we hadn't missed years. You live here? I asked. He shook his head. Nah, I'm just on a job nearby. What about you? I'm taking a break, I said carefully. From everything. He studied my face for a second but didn't push. After a few minutes of small talk, he cleared his throat. I'm driving back to our hometown tomorrow to visit my grandma, he said. She keeps complaining she never sees you anymore. Want to come with? It's on the way back toward the city. I thought about the little house at the end of our old road, the hill behind it, the 2 headstones up there under a scraggly maple. Yeah, I said. I think I do. His grandmother practically cried when she saw me. Stephanie, look at you, she said, pulling me into a hug that smelled like laundry detergent and cinnamon. You've been gone too long, baby. Kumain, kumain. Back in the country, the internet felt like another planet. I helped wash dishes, fed the dog, went on grocery runs, and for the first time in forever, didn't feel like I had to film any of it. I also went to see my parents. They died together in a car accident when I was in college. It took me years to be able to bring them home and bury them on the hill behind our old house, like they always talked about when I was a kid. I carried a bouquet of wildflowers up the slope. The air smelled like damp grass and pine. Hey, I whispered, kneeling to brush leaves off the stone. I'm back. That's when I noticed it. The soil around the headstone was disturbed. Not just from rain, freshly turned, like someone had dug into it recently and tried to cover the evidence. A chill slid through me. I smoothed the dirt back out, set the flowers down, and headed home with a knot in my chest I couldn't explain. It only tightened when I turned the corner and saw who was standing in the driveway. You've got to be kidding me, I muttered. Gavin was there with his suitcase, like he was about to move in. And next to him, in an oversized sweatshirt and flawless no-makeup makeup, was Leslie Hall, the girl the internet had chosen over me. Nice, Gavin snapped the second he saw me. You break up with me over text and disappear, and now you're here with him? He jabbed a finger toward Logan, who was checking something in the truck bed. How long has this been going on? You two messing around behind my back that whole time? I stared at him, then at Leslie, then back. I don't owe you any explanation, I said flatly. And I definitely want you to leave. Leslie clutched her tote bag tighter and gave me big, watery eyes. I just wanted to talk, she said softly. I didn't know things were this bad for you. I feel horrible. We came all this way so you wouldn't be alone. Given how hot she was online right then, she should have been in LA booking brand deals, not standing in a gravel driveway in the middle of nowhere. What was she really here for? Logan stepped closer to me, wiping his hands on a rag. His grandma came out behind him, apron on, eyebrows drawn together. Everything okay out here? She asked. We were just leaving, I said. No, we weren't, Gavin snapped. He shoved his suitcase forward, trying to push past. You're being ridiculous, Steph. I came back to give you a way out. He lowered his voice like he was being generous. You go online, admit you let things get out of hand, apologize to Leslie, and promise to stop copying her. You'll be fine. I'll even help you draft the apology video. I'm not apologizing for something I didn't do, I said, heat rising in my throat. She copied me. Leslie's lip trembled. How can you say that? I worked so hard on those concepts. Are we really doing this? Gavin laughed. The so-called plagiarist posted before the real creator? That's not how it works, Steph. Step closer. Stop attacking Leslie. She's still willing to help you. Help me. I repeated, disbelieving. You've been leaking my ideas to her behind my back for months, and she's been cashing them in. The only thing either of you ever helped was your own career. His expression froze for a split second. Then he recovered with a sneer. Wow, paranoid much. I'd had enough. If you don't leave right now, I said, voice shaking, I'm calling the police and reporting you for trespassing. Gavin opened his mouth, but Logan stepped in front of me, shoulders squared. You heard her, he said. Time to go. At the same moment, his grandma marched down the steps with a broom. You two need to get off my property, she said. Now, Gavin rolled his eyes. You're really going to embarrass yourself like this in front of? I slapped him hard. He staggered back, hand flying to his cheek, eyes wide. That, I said quietly, is for cheating on me and thinking I was too stupid to notice. He lunged like he was going to grab my arm, but Logan blocked him, pushing him back toward the gate. His grandma stepped between us with the broom like it was a weapon. Go on, she said, before I start swinging. Gavin backed off, muttering curses. Leslie gave me a wounded, saintly look, as if she were the one being wronged, and let him usher her to the car. As the dust from their tires settled, something finally clicked. If I had deleted my account and removed myself from the competition, why was Leslie still so desperate? Why come all this way in person to drag me back into the game? Unless without me she was stuck. Inside at the kitchen table, Logan poured me another cup of coffee. Okay, he said. Ready to tell me what's actually going on? So I did. I told him everything I remembered from the first life. The accusations, the breakup, the therapy, the way my story ended. And then the moment my eyes opened again, my finger hovering over the post button like someone had hit rewind. I told him about the ring in Leslie's photo, the way my concepts kept appearing word for word in her videos, the sick feeling that no matter what I did, she'd always somehow get there first. I expected disbelief. Instead, his grandma reached over and squeezed my hand. "Oh honey," she murmured. "No wonder you look so tired. You've been carrying this all by yourself." Logan's jaw tightened. He didn't look shocked, just angry on my behalf. "Before everything blew up," he said slowly. "Did anything weird happen? I mean seriously weird. Not the algorithm hates me weird. Weird." My mind flicked back to those strange mornings. "There was one thing," I said. "The month before everything started, I kept waking up on the floor. I'd go to bed like normal. Then in the morning I'd be curled up on the carpet, nowhere near the bed, with no memory of how I got there. At first, I thought I just rolled off. I told Gavin. He said I was overreacting, that I probably flailed around in my sleep. But it kept happening 3, sometimes 4 times a month. And then, right as the plagiarism drama started, it just stopped. I got so caught up in surviving that I forgot about it." Logan's frown deepened. "And last time you visited your parents' grave, you said the soil looked disturbed?" "Yeah," I shivered. "Like someone had dug there recently." He sat back, thinking hard. "My grandma used to tell stories from her side of the family," he said after a minute. "Stuff I always wrote off as folklore. There's one I can't stop thinking about now. It's about a kind of ritual." His grandma glanced at him sharply, then at me, then nodded once, like she'd already made peace with where this conversation was going. "If someone is desperate enough," Logan continued, "they can take soil from the grave of a person's closest loved ones and use it in repeated ceremonies. Over time, they get limited chances to piggyback on that person, slip into their life for a few hours, see through their eyes, hear their thoughts, borrow their instincts. It's not full possession, more like leaning over somebody's shoulder from the inside." All the air seemed to leave the room. I had taken Gavin to my parents' grave once. It had been an emotional day. He'd held my hand, said the right things, promised he'd always be there for me. He knew exactly where they were buried. "So someone could have used my parents against me," I said quietly. "To spy on me, to steal from me." "I can't say it's definitely that," Logan said. "But the timing is a little too convenient. You wake up on the floor 3 times a month. You suddenly have a twin online posting your ideas before you. Then your boyfriend, who hears all your brainstorming, shows up in your rival's background photos wearing the ring you bought him." My hands were shaking. The horror wasn't just that they had used me. It was that they had used my parents. After everything. After death. A slow, furious heat replaced the fear. "Fine," I said when I could speak again. "If they want my ideas that badly, I'll give them something to choke on." Logan raised an eyebrow. "Now we're talking." Back in the city a few days later, I quietly registered a new account under a different name. No face, no bio, no obvious links to the old me. The first thing I did was follow Leslie's main account and turn on every notification. Without my inspiration, her uploads had already started to fizzle. The last viral hit was still pinned at the top of her feed. Everything after that felt safe, recycled, boring. Her followers noticed. "Is it just me, or is the spark gone? Feels like we've seen this before. Did her editor quit?" In the comments, she insisted she was just posting old footage from the vault while she recharged creatively. I recognized the background in one video as a park that had only started blooming a week before. So much for the vault. Meanwhile, away from the noise, my brain finally had space to breathe. Ideas came back in a rush. They were different this time, sharper, less concerned with trends and more with story. One of them made me stop and sit up straight. It had teeth. Not just visual flair, but narrative weight. I outlined it, scripted it, edited it in my head before I ever turned the camera on. Then I added the hook. For the background music, I went hunting. Not for anything illegal, just something with a very ugly story under the surface. A track that had been quietly removed from most platforms after people dug up the producer's private messages where he joked about hating women and glamorized violence. It was still floating around on obscure sites, technically usable, ethically radioactive. I licensed a similar-sounding version from a royalty-free site, then layered in a subtle pattern that only matched perfectly when someone ripped my exact file. Next, I rewrote my captions until the first letters of each line spelled out a vertical message. "It was me, I stole this idea." If you read it straight through, it sounded like basic influencer talk. But once you saw the letters stacking, you couldn't unsee them. When the video was perfect, I exported it. I did not post it. I let it sit in my drafts and went about my day. A couple of nights later, around 1 a.m., my phone buzzed. Leslie Hall had just posted a new video. I rolled over, opened the app, and pressed play. Same concept. Same visual pacing. Same shot composition. Same story structure. Same music. The only differences were her face and her brand name slapped on the end. My stomach turned, part disgust, part grim satisfaction. At first, the response was the usual flood of praise. "You never miss, Queen. So fresh, so original. No one else is doing it like this. Then the comments shifted. Is this that song? Wait, does she know where this track came from? This feels wrong. Someone posted a side-by-side of old screenshots explaining why the track had vanished from streaming. Others started noticing the caption. Tell me I'm not crazy, but if you read the first letter of every line, it was me. I stole this idea. Is this some kind of twisted joke? Leslie scrambled. She deleted the video within the hour. She was too late. People had already downloaded it, reposted it, slowed it down, circled the acrostic in red. Commentary videos started popping up overnight. If she'd really created it herself, she might have caught the hidden message. But she hadn't. Her management agency panicked. The next morning, they pushed her into a live stream with a polished apology pinned at the top of her screen. I joined from an anonymous account. On camera, she looked washed out and tired. I didn't know about the context of the music, she said. The video was edited by my team, and there was a miscommunication. We take full responsibility and will be more careful in the future. I'm so sorry. For a while, the chat was the usual mix of anger and blind forgiveness. Then the tone shifted. That's a lie. I'm in your editing team. We had nothing to do with that video. You cut us out right after your second viral hit. We haven't touched your footage since. More accounts chimed in. I was her assistant. She fired me for suggesting changes. She hasn't let us make decisions for months. It's all her. She keeps calling us brain dead and useless behind the scenes. The chat went feral. Leslie stared at the screen, frozen, like she hadn't planned for the betrayal to go both ways. Someone off camera said something. She abruptly ended the live. Hours later, her account was restricted for policy violations under review. Her agency released a lukewarm statement about re-evaluating their partnership. And then my phone rang. Steph, what did you do? Gavin's voice crackled through the speaker, low and furious. You did that on purpose, didn't you? You knew that video would destroy her, and you just let it happen. I listened to him rant until he ran out of steam. In the background, I heard Leslie's voice, small and broken. Please, Steph, she said. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. Just help me. Tell people you helped write the concept. Say you gave me a draft and I made a mistake with the music. We'll pay you. $2 million cash. We'll sign whatever you want. I actually laughed. Gavin jumped in. $5 million, he snapped. We'll give you 5. Just fix this. Post a video saying it was all a misunderstanding, that we were collaborating. 8 million, Leslie whispered desperately. We'll make it 8. That's everything we can pull together. You'll never have to work again. I watched Logan across the room, sorting through boxes in his grandma's attic, taking out old jars and books I hadn't seen since we were kids. He looked up and met my eyes, waiting. I don't want your money, I said. My voice came out steadier than I felt. I want the truth. You admit publicly that you've been stealing my ideas. You apologize to me by name. Then I'll explain what happened with the video. Absolutely not. Gavin snarled. You think I don't see your angle? If we say that, we're done. Everything we built gone. We'll ride this out. The internet forgets. You're not important enough to be a permanent problem. You got lucky once. Enjoy it. This isn't over. It is for me, I said and hung up. I handed the phone back to Logan. Done, he asked. Done, I said. He nodded. Good. The less energy you spend on them, the better. Let the scale balance itself. Over the next few weeks, weird rumors started trickling across the corners of the internet that still tracked Leslie's every move. First, it was minor. Botched sponsorships, a cancelled collab, a studio dropping her quietly. Then came photos of her looking different. Then very different. People noticed the way certain features had changed too quickly. The way her expression looked tight even when she smiled. One brand support account posted, then deleted, a message about unexpected health complications forcing them to postpone a campaign. A couple of gossip pages shared blurry paparazzi shots of her in sunglasses and a mask, face swollen and bandaged. No one could get a straight answer. Every official explanation sounded like spin. Her agency eventually cut ties for medical and professional reasons. Gavin kept trying to salvage his image with motivational posts and vague tweets about loyalty and haters, but it was like shouting into a storm. The more he talked, the less anyone cared. And then one night my alt buzzed. Leslie_unfiltered_alt has started a live video. It was almost 2 o'clock in the morning, but my stomach told me to tap in. Her face filled the screen, or what was left of the face everyone knew. The lighting was harsh, the camera angle unflattering. Without filters, glam, or editing, she looked raw and human and terrified. It was me, she blurted, eyes darting. Okay, it was me. I stole your ideas, Steph. Are you happy? I'm saying it. I'm saying it out loud. I'm sorry. Just please let me go. I can't sleep. I feel like something is sitting on my chest. I don't know what you did, but I'm sorry. The chat exploded. Who is she talking to? Did she just say she stole someone's content? Is she talking about Stephanie? She went quiet for a moment, like she was listening to something nobody else could hear. Then she snapped. Why? She shouted suddenly, eyes going wide. Why do you get everything, huh? Her voice cracked. You had 1 million followers. You had brands throwing money at you. You had Gavin. Do you know how long I've liked him? Since high school. He used to walk past my locker and never look twice. Then you show up with your stupid ring light and your perfect skin and your soft little voice, and suddenly the whole world is obsessed with you. She laughed, high and broken. I could have done everything you did better. I work harder. I plan more. I study every detail. But no one noticed. No one cared. So yeah, I took your ideas. So what? I made them better. I deserved what you had. She started crying again, incoherent, swinging between apologies and accusations. The stream cut off abruptly. 2 days later, headlines hit local news outlets. A car had gone off the side of a mountain road late at night. The drop was steep, the terrain unstable. Rescue crews were still trying to reach the vehicle. Authorities didn't release names, but the internet didn't need them. Gavin and Leslie had both gone silent at the same time. Their last known location matched the area from the news. The car was never recovered. For the first time since my rebirth, I slept straight through the night. No waking up on the floor. No cold sweats. No feeling like someone else's shadow was standing in the corner of my room. And for the first time in a long time, I dreamed of my parents. They were standing on the hill behind our old house, bathed in warm afternoon light. My mom looked exactly like she did in the picture I kept on my dresser. My dad wore the same old college hoodie he'd practically lived in. Hey kiddo, he said, smiling. The second I saw them, I broke. I ran to them, stumbled, and practically crashed into my dad's chest. His arms wrapped around me like they'd never been gone. My mom's hand stroked my hair. I'm sorry, he sobbed. I'm so sorry. They used you. They took dirt from your grave. I didn't know how to stop it. We know, my mom said softly. And we're not mad. We're just sad it hurt you so much. My dad rested his chin lightly on my head. We helped tilt things back, he said. But that's not what matters. What matters is this. You can stop fighting ghosts now. You don't have to prove anything to strangers who never cared about you as a person. My mom pulled back, so she could look me in the eye. Live well, she said. That's all we want. Leave the rest to whatever comes next. We'll be okay. Their outlines grew lighter, like mist in sunlight. Wait. I choked out. Don't go, please. We're not really going anywhere, my dad said. Just a little farther out of sight. But we'll still be watching. So you better make this new life a good one, you hear me? I nodded, tears blurring everything. When I woke up, my cheeks were wet. But my chest felt light. Weeks later, when I finally opened a camera again, it wasn't to film a perfect makeup routine or a trendy skit. It was to capture Logan's grandma scolding a rooster for jumping the fence. Hands on her hips, gray hair escaping her bun, accent thick and warm as she told him he was too old to be causing trouble. I started a brand new account and didn't attach my name to it at first. I filmed small things. Steam rising from a mug of tea in the morning, the way the wind rippled through the grass on the hill behind the house, Logan fixing a broken fence board, and pretending he wasn't out of breath, me leaving fresh flowers at my parents' grave, and sitting with them in silence for a while. I talked quietly over some of the clips about burnout, about starting over, about learning to live for something other than numbers. People found it. At first, just a few. This feels like a breath of fresh air, one comment said. I don't even care who you are. Please keep posting. So I did. I visited other small towns, helped at local farms, showed the messy side of rural life alongside the pretty sunsets. I still edited, still planned, still cared about the work, but the purpose was different. I didn't post daily. I didn't jump on every trend. I turned off my phone after uploading and went outside. One afternoon, as I was editing a clip of the sunset reflecting off the river, a banner slid across the top of my screen. Congratulations! Your channel just hit 1 million followers. I stared at it, then at the hill outside the window, where 2 headstones sat under a maple tree, half hidden by tall grass. I smiled. In my first life, 1 million followers had been a curse that drove me to the edge. In this one, they were just a number. The real win was this. I was still here. I was still breathing. And for the first time, I wasn't living for them. I was living for me.